from Bateman, and he's charging through, and Bateman will score. It's not just about the will-o'-the-wisps. Occasionally it's about the big boulders, and there are a few bigger than Bateman.
Here he is.
There you are.
How are you?
I was just having a shower for you lads, just 'cause I thought, do you know what?
What's going on there?
I better look a little bit sharp for the boys.
You don't want us to smell you down the camera.
No, not smell, just more that I just think like I needed a shave, isolation. I needed a shave. I just needed to sort myself out. So, are we recording now?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. There we go. Everyone can see then, can't they?
Yeah. If there was one person I'm most worried about in isolation, it's you.
Yeah. And
Mate.
sorry for the slight delay. I had a phone call, Greg. Greg can inform you that after day 2, I'd lost the plot, and you can tell everyone what I got. Actually, maybe not, because it looks a bit like actually don't actually. There's a lot of things going out there at the moment, isn't there? People are, maybe not. We'll keep that one to ourselves. So.
Yeah.
Just need a t-shirt, then we're all good, don't we?
What? How's Charlotte coping with having 3 children at home?
She is coping fine. I think her biggest problem is probably just trying to keep me entertained. So, but yeah, she's good. Kids all right. We're trying to homeschool. So it's going all right. We're doing what we can. Their attention span is very similar to mine. So they're struggling a bit. Yeah. Hang on.
What are you teaching them for homeschool?
Lads, I'm in the game now. Right, I'm ready.
Here he is.
Let's get in the sunshine, shall we? It's a lovely day.
Go.
Right, boom. How's that?
Spot on.
Right?
Look at you.
There's no problems with isolation, is there? Look. with weather like this.
You cracked it, mate. You cracked it.
I'm actually quite happy about the situation. I spend so much time away from my family, like so much of the year away from the family, especially this year with the World Cup year. I think it was 20 weeks we're away for. Then you add in the 6 Nations, come back, lockdown, no problems. Happy to do it. It's nice to be home. There's so many jobs that have just been on the list. It's like a scroll. I'm just slowly but surely working my way through them.
Have you found though, so I've been doing jobs, but if you can't do too many in a day, because then you start running out of jobs, so you have to do a couple. Otherwise, do you know what I mean? Pace yourself. Otherwise, you get too far ahead.
Well, so yeah, it's an important balance, isn't it? Because with my academic ability, the last thing I want to do is rattle through the jobs too quickly. That then it's on me to then try and educate my son and daughter. I need to leave that to my wife because they're not going to learn anything off me. So yeah, absolutely. You don't want to rattle through them too quickly. This process could be a very long time.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There's going to be some cracking gardens at the end of this, isn't there?
There is. Bondi, how good are Greg's glasses, by the way?
I know. He looks like I don't know. He's like a cross between Hagrid and Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's
nice. It's nice that I had a shower, tried to look a bit more presentable, and there you are like that, isn't it?
That's why he's head of social media, because you never see it.
Exactly. Why have you not? You look like Edward Scissorhands. You literally got the same. You got the same lid.
I'm for Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? Maybe I should do that. Maybe we should all just. Well, Greg, you can't, but I could grow my hair.
You grow the front and sides of my hair.
You could grow it. You could grow the front and slick it back.
I could have a proper comb over by the end of this, couldn't I?
Those people that you see that just will not let go of their ponytail, no matter how thin it is on top. You know the ones?
Yeah, that could be me.
No, I didn't want to say it, but you said it yourself. There you go. It could be, yeah.
It's tragic, isn't it? I'm planning on getting my hair done this summer as well.
Hey, I'm left out on glasses front. Maybe I need some glasses. So come on, what's going on? How are you in isolation, Greg? Because come on, we're kind of similar blokes in terms of shape. In terms of
body mass.
Yeah, we enjoy being around people, don't we? So
we're birds that aren't meant to be caged, don't we? That's the
no,
thing.
We're not.
I'm coping all right, mate. I keep him busy. I think I speak to you at the moment about 6 times a day. just to make sure that you're also suffering the misery of this situation.
It's good, isn't it? We're like, you got to make that call, haven't you? I did one the other day.
Oh, have you done one?
I've done one, yeah. I spoke to Richard the other day, 86-year-old. He, his family are in Canada and Africa. But he's all right, though, because I said, oh, you know, how are you coping on your own and stuff? But he assured me he's got a lady friend. So I thought, all right, Richard, there's life in you yet, mate. So he's fine. He's fine.
Good old Richard, eh?
Yeah, so enough corona ain't going to get him down. So, yeah.
We had a great one with Dan Cole.
Yeah.
And the bloke was telling Dan about his son, who's a great swimmer or something like that. And you could hear in Dan's voice his knowledge of swimming was limited. So Dan didn't know where to take the conversation, to be honest.
You would have thought the polar bear would have been a decent swimmer, though.
Yeah. Do you know what we should do as well? Like, obviously, being a dad myself, and Greg being a dad, kids are hard during these times, in isolation. Try and explain to them, but there have got to be some, you know, maybe junior Tigers club members or something where, you know, some of the lads should ring up them, just make sure that they're doing all right, and you know, are they doing their homework and that, you know, not on a bossy way, but more just a check-in way. I think that would be nice. Why don't the Tigers do that as well? Make the call, not just for elderly, but young kids as well, young Tigers fans.
You just volunteered, buddy.
Yeah, well volunteered, mate.
I'll go first, no problems.
There is actually one for both of you with children, online. Junior Tigers Club members can do some Tigers-style homework activities.
Oh, can they?
Keep them busy.
Yeah, that's good. I think a phone call would be good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we should, no disrespect, but Lenny's not going to be doing spelling, is he?
No, exactly right.
Well, I'm interested in that. Lenny, you said you were doing homeschooling. What's your subject that you're teaching?
Dot the dot.
PE?
PE. I do
lunch.
PE.
Lunch?
Lunch, yeah, lunch. Head chef. It's hard. It's hard trying to get a 5-year-old to concentrate at home when he's got constant distractions. And my daughter just makes it her mission to annoy him when he's trying to do any work. So, yeah, my job really is to get Billy out the way. Pardon?
What work does a 5-year-old have?
Mate, school's brutal, Bondi. Don't underestimate.
It's quite hard, mate. It's not hard, but like there is quite a lot. I must say the school have been absolutely incredible in sending over information about what he should be doing. So, absolute credit to them. But like I said, my wife's taking care of that stuff. So, you know, she just knows that I need to focus on, you know, just bringing the morale. That is my role. During these 3 weeks of isolation, my job is to bring family morale, constant energy, and I can do that.
Yes, you can.
I'm going to be O&T, open and transparent, and and a full-time morale booster. And that's not easy, you know.
Do your kids understand what's going on? Do they understand the?
Yeah, they do, because every time like one of them coughs or sneezes, like they come running to like me or Charlotte and say, "Oh, Billy just sneezed in my face. She's gonna make me ill," or like Boris just coughed in my face, like she's got the virus. So it's sort of the imagination of kids, really. But yeah, touch wood, no one, you know, as far as I know, no one's got it in this household.
I guess you're lucky, Lenny, because you'd have miles and miles between you and your neighbours, wouldn't you?
I'd have what, sorry?
You'd have miles and miles between you and your neighbours. So
yeah, we have more than 2 meters distance, which is perfect.
Yeah, it's like Tate. I'm sure Tate's doing fine with his mansion.
Yeah, Tate will be fine. There'll be a few boys that are fine.
Tate's been practicing isolation for years, though, hasn't he? He'll be all right.
I saw Tate the other day. So before Boris changed the rules, I went out for a road bike. Greg was meant to come, but he absolutely bottled it, didn't you, Greg?
I did. Well, I thought Charlotte's bike would be too big for me, to be honest.
In height.
Yeah. How far did you go?
We did, I think, like 19 miles. Yeah. But anyway, Tatey came. We met him there. We all met at Worcester and then went off, headed from there. There was Crofty, Tatey, my brother, and myself. Tatey turned up and he'd forgotten the pin for the back of his tyre. So he had to ring his wife. and say, is there a pin in the garage that looks like this? She said, yes. So he said, sorry, boys, I'm going to have to go home. So he couldn't come. So I saw Tate for about 2 minutes. And then he was fully kitted up as well. He had all the gear, and he got back in his car, loaded up the bike, and away he went.
Drove home in his lycras.
Drove home, poor bloke, hadn't been out for 5 months.
Who's good then? What's Crofty like on a bike?
Hopeless. No, actually, no, that's a lie. He's actually good, but hills, he cannot do hills.
He's got no stick though, has he?
He cannot do hills, yeah. So he.
What does Tom look like on a bike? I would imagine that's quite funny.
It's like he's a machine, to be fair, on it. Like uphill and stuff, he goes quicker uphill than he does on flats. So it was quite windy as well. So if you sit behind him, like you sit behind, get really low, pick up some good pace behind him. But he was so far in front of me and Crofty that he's a bit strong on that. Me and the Yog man were miles back, but it was a lovely bike ride, and yeah, so I can only go out on my own now.
So maybe I'll join you next time. Bondi, do we need to talk about anything rugby with Len? Like he's re-signed and stuff. Do people want to know about that?
I've got some questions. I thought I'd throw some at both of you. So tell me about your training you're doing. Tell me about what training look like now. You guys play team sports. You enjoy playing team sport. How does it feel to feel like an Olympic swimmer by yourself?
Bondi, does it look like I'm a man that's currently training?
This is what you look like at Oval Park every day.
I've got vitamin D shining on me. Sitting on a bench, peace and quiet. Do I look like a man that's worried about doing shuttle runs?
You did, though. Yesterday you went out to the park, didn't you? And you had Big Al questioning your exact meterage. You said, "I'm sorry, mate. I'm just trying to dodge the dog shit at the moment to get my reps in."
No, I am trying. Yeah, you're right, Greg. That's completely right. I am training. Yeah, cool. Yeah, like we all are, because you have to. So the best way to get in shape is not to get out of shape. I've learned that lesson. So yes. So yeah, I am training. So what am I doing? Like I've got a few weights knocking about here. So just some basic weights there. The club have sent over a load of information and loads of really good videos, hey Greg, on how to do certain exercises. So.
I want to stop you there. I've got to stop you there because I think I know the video you're alluding to. Is that I'm going to name and shame him. Is that Pete Burridge with the 50 Cent music in the background?
No. Let me show you.
Oh, mate, that must be another video. There's a couple. There's one where Pete he's got his legs either side of two chairs, so like straddling. There's that exercise which is lean against the wall and stare into abyss to strengthen up the neck.
On match day.
Then there's an exercise where you leg either part of a chair, big weight in between. You try and squat down, but the chairs are like moving so much it does not look safe at all.
If coronavirus doesn't get you, the exercise as well.
Yeah, some of those exercises will definitely get you before the virus potentially. I've got a watt bike at home.
You're quite disciplined on a watt bike though, aren't you? Like you don't mind going out and getting in your little Charles bar on the watt bike, do you?
Yeah. So we've got like a summer house, which is basically a bar, the Charles bar. But when it's quite good because you can use it as like a little heat chamber. So I've put the bike in there, and I've got some heaters as well. So I bang them in there, and obviously, like when the weather's like this, it gets very hot in there anyway. Close the doors, and just away I go on the bike. Do like 10k, 12k as quick as I can. It's actually a really good session. Sweat loads, good hard work, good hit for the day, and then just doing my basic weights really. But yeah, and trying to run. I also ran yesterday as well as a bike, so I'll just get that in, Greg. Yes, I did do 2 sessions. But yeah, the park's a bit challenging because. You know what I mean? The grass is quite long. I'm not sure if there's divots. I'm not sure if everyone cleans up their doggy doo-doo. That's a bit challenging.
What about skill work? Are you able to do any skill work?
What's the saying? You never lose it? Yeah, to be fair, yeah, I'm really practicing my one-on-ones against Boris. I've managed to axe tackle him a good few times. I did five reps the other day and didn't miss one against him. I did some counter-attack against him. I boshed him down on the floor a few times, handed him off, stepped him. No, in a serious note, skills a bit hard because, believe it or not, although I'm a rugby player, I actually only have one rugby ball at home.
I don't have a rugby ball at home.
There you go. Greg doesn't even have a rugby ball.
But does that surprise anyone? Does that surprise anyone at all that Greg doesn't have a rugby ball?
No, but like the thing is Fordy would be the only I mean, George will have a bag of balls anyway because of the amount of kicking he does, which is fine. But all of us boys, a lot of lads, just won't have one because obviously
Who are you going to pass it to?
Pardon?
Who are you going to pass it to though? love, stand at the end of the garden for me.
Like, so, well, that's the other thing as well. Like, I don't want to disrespect the family too much, but I mean, George is obviously Boris has got the same sort of size as Fordy, so he's a good target to pass the ball at. But he, yeah, I've got to take a bit of power out of the job. It is like Greg says, like it's hard, isn't it? Because sorry, I'm waffling here, Bondi, because your question was very simple. Are you still practicing my skills? Kind of not. It's kind of hard, isn't it? I've got one rugby ball, and I've got my son to pass the ball to, who's 5.
No, man, what did you say?
I said, I've only got my son to pass the ball to, and he's 5. So, like, skill.
Oh, no, I thought he was talking to you in the background there.
No, he's outside. He's climbing stuff. Yeah, that's my boy. So proud of him.
Not a boy. So probably Bondi's going to ask you as well about Uncle Steve coming in. Obviously, I've never met or worked with Uncle Steve, but I know that was a big part of you re-signing, wasn't it? Like, what can I expect from Uncle Steve coming in?
What can you expect?
We expect. Well,
I think there's no doubt for me that he is. Him and Eddie Jones are the 2 best coaches I've ever come across, without doubt. I think Steve is unbelievably thorough. He's very clear about how he wants to play the game. He drives a constant standard and desire to improve and improve others. He has a standard of what he expects people to train at and the level it needs to be. And if it isn't good enough, then he's vocal about it and he'll drive it till he's blue in the face till you get it. And he's got a really good mannerism about himself and comes with a huge amount of respect. So he'll be absolutely brilliant. I think that the thing is, I guess, then when a big name coach like Steve comes in, I think everyone expects that he comes in and it solves all the problems. Well, it doesn't. It won't just solve all the problems. He will make significant changes and significant difference to us as a team, without doubt. But that don't think that just Steve coming in is going to be enough for us to suddenly go from 11th in the table to top of the table come next season. It doesn't work like that. But I think over the period that he's been given, without doubt, he will slowly but surely get us back to where we all love to be.
What does he add to what we already have? So obviously Geordie moved into a different role. What do you think he, in a different way of not just what he brings individually, but how will they complement one another?
Mate, Steve will. I think, to be honest with you, I think he'll set the standard of what coaching looks like. I think he'll be. It's not about him adding. I think, if honest, I think he'll go and do his thing. I think people will, the coaches will see what he does and how he goes about his business and think, blimey, that's where I need to get to. And like I say, he won't just set the standard within training and what he wants from our boys. I think he'll set a whole new benchmark and level for coaches and what he expects from them. And I think, he's an international coach with huge amount of experience, done the Lions tour, worked under Eddie for many years. Like I say, he's one of the best coaches I've ever had. So he'll come in and he'll do what he does. And I think it's for other coaches to see that and try and catch up with him, and if they do that, if they catch up with him and they buy into his philosophy of coaching and the way that he goes about it, then ultimately it's going to make them a lot better coaches, which is going to complement the team. So I just think the whole club should be excited by it. But like I say, but just don't assume that it just happens because he's in. You know, it'll take time and work. But for me, it was the fact that he came in made my decision to stay a lot clearer.
Talk about your decision to stay. Nice to do it along with your brother.
Yeah, of course it is. Like, me and Tom have been here for many years, and you know, I've had some great times at Leicester, and over the last few years, it's been really tough. So I don't want to walk away from it just because it suddenly got tough. You know, it was all it was a big decision for me this year because of just coming back from a World Cup. You know, I've been at the club for a long time. It's that feeling of, do I need something new to potentially, you know, you're always looking for opportunities to maybe like, right, what's the next new challenge? You know, World Cup years are 4-year cycles. You know, the club's been tough period the last few years, and it's trying to like, what can I get my teeth into that's gonna be enjoyable, that's gonna be challenging, that's gonna get the best out of me. So for me, like I say, when I obviously got confirmed or got wind that Steve was coming in, that for me was enough to go, like, do you know what? Like, I've worked with him under the last 4 years. He knows how to get the best out of people. He's very clear about what he does, and I thought, yeah, that for me feels like a whole new challenge in itself while still staying put. So yeah.
Also,
does that kind of answer it for you?
Just on that, Len, like, I remember we had a lot of chats, didn't we? Like, when you came back from the World Cup, it was quite hard to adjust almost to normal life because of the big high that it was. And it's no surprise that potentially a lot of the boys were looking for a pastures new or whatever to challenge themselves again. It was pretty hard adjustment, wasn't it, from like that bubble to then coming back to normality?
Definitely, mate. Like you 20 weeks you're in camp with this group of lads and you're going after this goal and you're trying to win a World Cup. And honestly, it was the most enjoyable 20 weeks of my life, like professional life. It really was. It was incredible. I can't speak highly enough of the group of players, the coaching staff, everyone. I'd talk for ages if I went into too much detail because it was that good. But like you say, Greg, you then come back and you go from trying to win a World Cup to suddenly, you know, you fall short, you don't win. There's that huge disappointment. You get home. I had a week off, but I didn't get back till like the Tuesday. I went from trying to win a World Cup to my biggest challenge was doing a family shop in the supermarket and dropping off the kids and picking them up. That was like basically what I did. Yeah. And then before I know, I was back in the club training, and you know, you go back into a club where we'd had one win. We'd beaten Gloucester. That was it since I've been away. We were very low on the Premiership table. We had Europe coming up. Played Po that first game, and you do your utmost to try and get up for it to get yourself. But it's not the same. It's not the same, and it's hard. And that's why professional rugby is so hard, because the Premiership season is relentless, and the calendar year is relentless. And every week you've got to try and get yourself to a standard which you want to perform at. You want to perform at that standard because you hold yourself accountable to that. But also the expectation of everyone thinks that you should, you know, pull rabbits out of hats every weekend. Well, that just doesn't happen like that.
Mm. Yeah, fair enough.
So it's tough. It was tough, mate. It took a while. It took a while, just really to figure things out and absorb it all. Really.
Do you think, obviously, like, we're Zooming each other because of coronavirus and stuff, like, and the league we don't know at the moment, potentially is currently postponed, restarted, maybe start next season or whatever. Like, if that's the case, like, is there a better way for the league to be structured, do you think, going forward, where you boys aren't sort of coming back from those international tours and then having to be straight in at the coal face?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm always going to have a slightly different opinion to, let's say, someone that doesn't play internationally, because the way the league is formatted at the moment is, if you don't play international rugby, you do get breaks. There is windows of opportunity to freshen up. But if you play internationally, the club aren't obliged to on the back of the campaign to give you time off. There's a certain amount of minutes that you can play that you're deemed a week off, but that's kind of negotiable, I think. At the moment, there's a lot of rugby. There's a lot of rugby that goes on throughout the year. And maybe with this going on, it might be an opportunity to potentially look at the forthcoming seasons and structuring it slightly different and trying to get that. Because you're looking at the models at the moment. I mean, the elephant in the room about the 25% pay cut that every club's taking at the moment.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
It shows that clubs probably aren't getting the best out of everything and financial model, but yet we're playing so many games, so you can't play any more than what we're playing. I don't know. I think from my point of view, I think there's a lot of rugby that's played, but that ultimately is the way that you play the game to bring in revenue. But does it dilute the amount of games you play to how good it is? I'm not sure. I don't know all the answers, mate. I just know that you've done it, Greg, where you might be on a tough Premiership run. I think if we take ourselves back to a couple of seasons ago, and I'm sure Tigers fans will remember this one, I think we played something like, did we play like Saracens, Exeter, 2 European games, or we played 2 European games, sorry, then Exeter, Saracens, then we played another 2 Europe, and it was honestly relentless, wasn't it?
So wasn't it the year after the World Cup or something where it was like 16 games back to back or something? I know what you mean.
Yeah, and the season's changed since 2015. But obviously, like I say, maybe with everything going on, it's probably the best opportunity they've got to maybe again just rethink about a few things and what it looks like. I always look at Europe and I think Europe's so spread out. Like it's so spread out. Like, are you better doing that as like a one block? Are you better, instead of playing home and away all the time, are you better just having your pools and you just, you're either home or you're away, but you don't play them twice, or, and you condense that and you play it all in one block. So it's a bit more, the time that the quarterfinals come around, we qualified, in January, was it? Was it January, Bondi?
Yeah, around that time.
Around that time. And then you got January all the way till we're meant to be playing it. When was it? It would be next week, wouldn't it?
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Like, it's such, you're that long till you play a quarter final. It just kind of, does it lose its momentum? I don't know.
Do you think?
Sorry, Bondi. I think that's because I'm going to kind of stick on this pay cut thing, because obviously it's the big elephant in the room with the lads at the moment. And what you're talking about there is, I think genuinely, like, this is where everybody's thinking about the whole thing as like a much bigger picture. And I'm kind of with you, is like, actually, maybe if it was focused on less, done better, higher quality games, fresher lads, more internationals available for games, or whatever, with built-in rests, and that kind of makes sure everybody's fit and ready to play the highest standard of rugby we can across the season, then arguably the most competitive and best game we can put out there is the most valuable thing that we can do. So the way that it's structured and modelled is so difficult, because it's not, like we chatted about this yesterday, didn't we, Len, that it's not just you and I that are struggling, it's the people in the office. Bondi, those people who
staff, it's everyone, isn't it? Everyone involved.
Normal jobs. And we want people involved in sport beyond just the athletes. We want people involved in sport to make the sport better, or all sports better. And I think just how we model it is probably the big question at the moment.
I have no trousers.
Pardon? Sorry, my daughter's just turned up. What's the matter, darling?
Mum said I can't have some trousers because it is a bit hot.
It's a bit hot, yeah. So just leave your pretty dress on. Oh, I've just tidied that up. That's homeschool for you right there. Yeah. She brings the decision. I help with the solution. Boom, dealt with.
Don't need problems, Billy.
Got your sunglasses? She's got her sunnies on as well. There we go, sorted.
Can I ask, so you mentioned there less games. So is that, you think there should be less competitions? Do you need a Premiership Cup?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it, Bondi? Because, like I said before, games bring in revenue, doesn't it? So the more games you have, the more revenue you're going to make. But it's the tough balance in it, because at the moment, like Greg said, are you then diluting the standard? Not the standard's the wrong word. Are you diluting the impact of it? Because, you have the Prem Cup, you obviously have the Premiership, you have Europe,
The A-League.
The A-League. There's a lot of competitions, And how many? You've obviously got absolute diehard rugby fans that know every competition, but you've also got a lot of people that you want to attract to the game that kind of have a rough idea going on, but not really. They can't probably keep up with, with potentially everything. So I don't know what the right answer is. I really don't. But I think that you want your best players playing every week, don't you?
But
But
also,
at the moment, you can't do that. You can't have George Ford, Johnny May, self, Manu, like the guys at Genji, the guys at England. There's no way that we can do a World Cup, come back, play every game. Do you know what I mean? Go away Six Nations, come back, play every game. Like it's.
but also on that is a lot of teams, especially with the salary cap, can't afford a squad to be able to compete in 3 or 4 different competitions. And you've got teams drafting in players for the A-League and the LV Cup, Premiership Cup, to sort of fill those spaces. So really those games aren't being played by players in those squads anyway. So I don't think that you're trying to make a point. We're just sort of saying that maybe it does dilute it. And actually, would we be better having less but potentially higher quality games? I don't know.
Do you need less international?
Pardon?
You need less international fixtures.
Well, they get the biggest exposure, don't they?
Yeah.
So, internationally, that puts rugby on a map, doesn't it?
Or is there a country where they need to be balancing internationals outside of the domestic calendar?
I'm not sure because, again, it's got to try and match with everyone and you're not going to get, that's the hard thing. I think the competitions that happen internationally, I think, are like the Six Nations is just the better, for me, it's the best tournament to be a part of. That and the World Cup, obviously. But I just think it's such a traditional tournament. It's fantastic, Look, I don't know the answers. It's more a debate and discussion, isn't it? I can only project how my career's been as a player and having to do that, yearly and that cycle and stuff. And, I haven't got the power to change it. At the end of the day, I'm dictated to by the powers to be, but I'm just simply saying that if there was ever an opportunity to potentially look at restructuring it, then maybe this is the chance to do it. You okay, mate? Yeah. Dad's just on the phone, buddy. Just putting the world to right,
Talk about internationals, Len. How do you feel on 99 tests?
Boris!
You all right? How do I feel on 99?
Yeah, what's the feeling like when you think, I could have had the 100th, and now you're sitting there going, come on, what's going on?
I feel all right, to be fair, because it is what it is, isn't it? I've still played 99 games, which is great to have done. I'm 30. I feel good. If I was 35, 36, and I had to show 99, I might be like, I might really struggle to get that. I might struggle to get that last one. Yeah, we are. Do you want a cake? No, absolutely not, Boris. I'm in training still. Of course I don't want a cake. I'll have a banana though, or a protein shake. That's what you meant. Maybe later between me and you.
I'm eating loads of cakes.
That's my boy.
I'm eating cakes.
It's hereditary, that. Good lad. Sorry, where was I? Slightly distraction there, the thought of cake.
Mate, this is what people want. They want an insight into the real Ben Youngs. That's him.
Yeah. Home school's not going right because he's obviously getting cake and protein shake mixed up. Like, it's an ongoing work on that. He keeps getting those words mixed up.
11 a.m, mate. You should be in front of a whiteboard learning.
Yeah. They're currently on the trampoline, so they're fine. Their joy brings me joy. Where were we?
I don't know.
Full-time morale booster. It's not easy.
It's true. How much better do we all feel homeschooling with Len? We feel great.
Yeah. And the amazing thing, I haven't even moved. Look how happy that I haven't even moved. Where were we? I was about to just go for it.
Stuck on 99.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, Bondi. Back to 99. It's one of those things, mate. Like, what can I do about that? Like, I'm on 99. It is what it is. I'm very proud to have done it that many times. I'm 30 years old. I feel great. I'll feel even better once Boris gives me that shake. And yeah, if hopefully I get another opportunity to do it. So, like I say, if I was like 36 and I was retiring at the end of the year, I would be like, yeah, that's frustrating. But hopefully, touch wood, I might get another opportunity.
You and I had a chat, Len, when you re-signed, and you mentioned to me you were sick of people mentioning you were 30 and on 99. So I thought I'd mention it. But
yeah, it's people, honestly. I don't know. I think people people just get like a number in their head, or like they think, oh, you're 30. Yeah, time for like. Honestly, they know me better. They know my body better than I know my own body or how I feel. It's amazing what people come out with. Honestly.
What Willie Hines? He's about 45, isn't he?
33, Heinzie. 33.
There you go.
Yeah. Look at Wiggy. Wiggy's what, 37, I think he is. Still going very well for Sarri. So, yeah, mate. It's just like people, after the end of a World Cup cycle, mate, everyone always wants to just kind of figure out, who needs to go, what needs to happen. So, it's all white noise. I know how I feel.
Good lad. I'm done.
No, let's not finish it yet, you know?
Go on. What were you going to say?
Bondi, how's all the staff, mate? Obviously, you know, because like there's such a huge emphasis always on just players, and like, yes, we are players, and we get our 80-minute spotlight, but there's so many people behind the scenes that people just wouldn't even know about. How is it at the moment with obviously just so quiet? You know, are people just at home working? Are people just, what is it? Is anyone in at the stadium at all? Like,
no,
I want
the stadium's been temporarily closed.
Yeah.
The stadium at the moment's operating as a bit of a safe haven for the NHS, mate. So,
brilliant.
Parking's free for all of them. I think they're going to look to use the space as much as they can for people that need it. People are just operating at home, mate. I think it's a bit like you guys. You just every day kind of trying to do as much as you can while not going crazy.
Yeah.
But it's hard, mate. It's hard because I think you forget that everyone who is in an office, like you're saying, you guys get the 80-minute spotlight and you're judged on that. But the people who work at the club have to live and breathe it every day and every week. So when something's taken away from you, it's very, very hard to do, isn't it? And I'm lucky. I've got a great French bulldog to keep me sane and happy. But like, I can imagine there's some people really struggling with it. And at times like this too, you got to reach out to people, don't you? I know we joked about the make the call stuff, but really sitting at home by yourself all the time is as bad as that. It is quite hard.
It is, yeah. You go stir crazy. What's the
It looks all right at Greg's though. His house looks nice.
Yeah, it's a bit dark in there. I'd like to see a bit more light.
The window's that side. That's why.
Okay.
You've seen my decorating, Len. I've sent you pictures.
It's very good. It's very good. Oh, there's you know, well, me and Greg, you know, I'm doing up a house in Norfolk at the moment, and
Our house.
I keep Greg. Yes, our house. I keep pinging Greg ideas. You know, I like to get a bit of outside influence. So that's a project that's keeping us busy. Is there anything you'd like to learn over the next 3 weeks, Greg? You know, let's say isolation does go for the next 3 weeks or longer. What do you want to do? How are you going to better yourself in the next 3 weeks?
Do you know what my mum sent me? I'm going to learn how, because like, you know, my mum's an artist. I'm going to learn how to draw.
Wow.
Wow.
Love that.
I think.
Art classes online.
Piano, like learning a piano would be good, eh?
Well, we did promise ourselves we were going to learn, one of us was going to learn the piano and the other one would learn the song.
Yeah, I can't sing.
Nah, don't sing, please.
So, yeah. All right, lads. Well, I best go back to helping the crew.
Get the headmaster back in the school, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll see what I can accomplish today.
Go and get that protein shake down your bud.
Yeah. Where is it? Not there yet.
Passing session.
All those times I get him food and do all that, he can't even get me a shake. You know. I'm grateful. All right.
Okay. Thanks, Len. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thanks.
No,
mate.
always a pleasure. Everyone, take care. Look after yourselves. Stay isolated. But stay sane and safe.
Speak to you in about half an hour.
Yeah, probably will. Yeah.
Cheers, buddy.
I'm gonna get a coffee, and just keep absorbing the sun. All right.
Cheers, pal.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Well, then.
That was good, eh?
That was great. He's a unique character.
I love that bloke.